Well, we got back to work today. I think the team took a big step in the right direction in the second half of the Tennessee game. I think we played to a little higher standard, got a little better execution, played physical like we want, played with some toughness, made plays when we needed to make them. We certainly haven't arrived or anything like that. I mean, we have a lot of things that we can improve on, and that's certainly the focus of what we want to do this week with the bye week is each player has something that he can improve on. We want him to focus on that, whether it be technique, conditioning, better understanding of assignments, and also having a positive energy to affect your teammates, in terms of how you go about what you do so that we have a chance to improve as a team. We'll also use this time to get a little exposure to future opponents, people that do things different than what we've seen to this point. It's probably good to spend a few periods on doing some things that the players haven't seen before. Always makes it a little bit better to, come back to that when, game week comes. I don't really think that, I think you can start practicing for another team too soon, even though there may be some things that team does that you might, want to spend a little time on. I think you all know the schedule for this week. We'll practice, Wednesday and Thursday. Players will work out on their own on Friday. And we'll, get back to work on Monday then. I think you got the players of the week. Julio and James both got SEC honors as well as, for us, Greg being the offensive player and D and C.J. Mosley and Marcel Darius on defense and Will Lowry and Brandon Gibson as special teams guys. So we don't really have, let's see, I think we had two guys out there today that didn't really work. Minzy, we're just, sometimes with the type of injury he has, you just got to give him a few days. So hopefully it doesn't become reoccurring when he comes back. There's no way to know that for sure. So we're probably going to leave him sort of limited here for a couple days. Wesley Neighbors has a sprained foot. He's had it for a long time. If we had a game this week, he's been practicing on it. It's no worse than it has been, but opportunity maybe to get it to settle down a little bit. DJ's back and practicing, and hopefully we can, work him back to where we may be able to, get him back in the fold here, in the next game. So I don't think anything else to report other than, this is not just important for the players from a practice standpoint. It's important to, get treatment, psychologically recover a little bit, physically recover a little bit, get the proper rest, do the right things, get caught up in school a little bit, sort of, get ready for, the stretch run we got here, which is we got some great opportunities and tremendous challenges, so we're certainly try to get ourselves ready to take advantage of it.
Coach Saban, the big topic in NFL football this week has been head-to-head, helmet-to-helmet contact. Mississippi State had a player suspended for a week for a contact in the UAB game that I hadn't seen. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
What he did. Has anybody from the league? Have you gotten any kind of contact from the league office about that? Is there anything that you can do to watch for those kind of things, prevent those kind of things?
Well, I think that we all try to coach, safety. We try to coach safety and tackling. We try to teach our guys how to, shoulder tackle more than use the helmet or the head. And I think it's a fine line sometimes when you, hit with your shoulder, you can actually hit a guy, with your head. But I also think that it's important that we all pay attention to player safety and that we are coaching and creating player awareness that, you don't go helmet to helmet or head to head or something that may enhance an injury for you or for the other guy. So I'm all for player safety. I'm all for doing things that can create, better player safety. But at the same time, when you say you hit a defenseless player, sometimes the quarterback's defenseless. Sometimes when the receiver's going for the ball, he's defenseless. And, I know guys are trying to play football, and I don't think we ever have a player that tries to intentionally go head-to-head. I would certainly not want them to, nor do we ever coach or reinforce that in a positive way. But at the same time, it could happen.
Was D. Milner's hit early in the Tennessee game where it looked like the Tennessee guy was slipping down? Was that one of those inadvertent helmet-to-helmets?
Well, I don't even know if it was helmet-to-helmet. He was really trying to, tackle the guy near leg, near shoulder like we teach. And, the guy kind of was going down. So that's one of those things right there where I don't think the guy was trying to hit him with his helmet, but he may have ended up, actually that may have been happening. And I think that, the league office will use very good judgment, and they always have. And I haven't seen the play, so I'm not making a comment about this in terms of, when somebody intentionally goes after somebody who's laid out, that's completely, different deal. And I think that's really what we're trying to eliminate.
Coach, from the time that you played to now, how much more violent, I guess, would you say the game has gotten?
Well, I thought it was pretty good when I played, I always thought I was a tough guy and all that. But I don't really know that it has. I think there's always been a lot of good hitting. I think there's a lot more awareness, now of injuries and consequences of those injuries, and how we can prevent some of those things from happening, and with greater technology as well as awareness, so that we try to create a safer game. I heard Joe Paterno said if you take the face mask off, we won't have anybody won't be sticking their nose in there like that. So I don't know.
Coach, it's our job as members of the media to kind of assess what's going on with your football team, but really in actuality we're on the outside looking in. I'm just wondering if you would elaborate. I know you mentioned it in your opening statements. Maybe comment to the strengths and weaknesses of this football team here at the Bye.
Well, I think all this is not absolute. There's varying degrees of everything. Even when you talk about improvement, it doesn't come in huge gains or huge steps. I think we made some improvement on defense throughout the course of the year. We make less mental errors. We probably tackle a little bit better. Now, there's still a lot of things that we can improve on. We've not given up quite as many big plays, which is going to be important. We plan a little bit better on the perimeter in terms of run force and things like that. So there's a lot of things that we've improved on, but we're certainly not satisfied with where we are. We want to continue to improve, and there's things that we can do much better. There's also new challenges that we have to prepare ourselves for, which may be new experiences to some. Offensively, it really is more of a question of consistency. At times this year, we have been very good offensively. We've had great balance. We've been able to run the ball effectively. We've been able to take advantage of things in the passing game and make explosive plays, and certainly did that in the last game at Tennessee, probably as well as we've done it all year. So that's something that we need to work on. It's not whether we can do it or can't do it. It's can we do it all the time to a standard, to a level that's going to be effective. And I think that, our special teams are probably pretty much the same. We've done some good things at times on special teams, but the consistency has not been what it needs to be. Play in, play out, down in, down out. We'll cover a couple kicks really well, and then all of a sudden we have a little problem. We make some plays on punt return, and then, we don't sort of hold them up as well and execute as well. So it really is a lot about consistency and paying attention to detail and being focused on what you need to do on that particular play and how many guys buy into that. You know, from a big picture standpoint, you know, what kind of passion guys have to accomplish or do something to distinguish themselves. I mean, how important that is that to them. And that will say a lot about where the team goes from here. So, you know, do you want to participate in the rest of the season, or do you want to try to dictate and, you know, become a dominant team? But that's not going to happen just when you go out on the field. You got to do it every day. You got to prepare yourself to do it, and you have to have the right mindset and the passion to do that. And that's something that has to be there for you every day. When the game comes, everybody's going to want to win the game, but not everybody has done all the things they need to do to be able to play effectively enough to play winning football consistently enough to have success. And you know, that's the challenge, and that's what we're trying to do with our players, and try to get more and more guys to buy into having that kind of competitive attitude.
Obviously, Julio has had some very good games since he's been here, but what he did Saturday, was he in his zone? Was it matchups, kind of a combination of both?
No, I think that's the kind of you know, things that we sort of want to be able to utilize relative to the skill players that we have. You know, every one of our receivers has something that they do well. And I think the more that we can put them in positions where they have an opportunity to make those kind of plays, the more effective we're going to be offensively. So, you know, we've taken a few shots with these plays before, maybe not often enough. And the way Tennessee played us and the way some other people have played us, we have to continue to do that so that we give opportunities to make big plays. And Julio just played a fantastic game all the way around, not only the receptions, but all the other things he did as well.
And kind of a follow-up on Julio. He's a guy, is it injury issues? I mean, is he just such a physical receiver that he's going to get banged up sometimes? Is that?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, injuries are a part of the game. I think he's really a tough competitor, and I think he's a really mentally tough, physically tough guy. He plays extremely hard. He plays very physical. I don't know if you see him, but he's made some blocks that you would say if a tight end made that block, you'd be real happy. You know, so he's a very aggressive player, and I think that's his style. Now, I don't think his style lends itself to injuries. I think they're just a part of the game. And, you know, he's never really been seriously injured, but just bumps and bruises here and there. And, you know, I think as he grows and matures, he's learned how to deal with those things a little bit better and not let them affect him.
Coach, could you talk about Phelan Jones's performance against Tennessee in place of Menzie?
Well, he did a nice job for us, and you know, Phelan's a smart guy, and has, you know, taken a while to sort of learn the system and do things the way we want them done. And I thought he did a nice job in the game. We were confident in him that he would do a good job in the game, and he did not disappoint us at all. And I was really pleased with his performance. So, you know, we have not been disappointed in Menzie's performance either. He has just, you know, struggled a little bit all year trying to stay healthy, which is, you know, in his case, I think that my experience in pro ball was anytime a guy missed camp, he struggled throughout the season to stay healthy because you didn't prepare yourself for the season like maybe you would if you were healthy. And even though he didn't miss camp, he missed the entire summer conditioning program because he was coming off of an injury. So he never got to prepare for the season like everybody else. And but we've been pleased with his effort, his attitude, how he's tried to do things, and it's good to have, you know, guys that are competing at positions, and these two guys will certainly compete at that position.